And finally, it's working. Let's see. Let's go to the view. I know they're definitely going to have an opinion on this. Stop. Is it finally working the way I wanted it to? I might have put it as unlist. Where's the volume of this now?
Look, again, if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. I'm not the one to dox you from your job, but y'all got to stop putting your stuff out there on the internet. TikTok is not your diary. Instagram is not your.
Is it playing? Can you hear me? It should be playing finally. See, this is what's happening. People are actually getting fired now for talking about this. They're actually getting fired for talking about this in this way. This is more of the problem than the other thing I was talking about. Okay, let's see. 14 hours ago. Let me see if Modi speaks because she had a big opinion about this. Okay, Charlie Kirk. I actually started watching this.
You know, all this chatter is absolutely incredible, but I'm actually really burnt.
If you guys don't know who this is the guy who was celebrating in the video. Well, he was chanting USA in the video. I was trying to play him yesterday.
Honestly like the happiest person you have ever met in your entire life. And I am absolutely sick of all of my soldiers, including Charlie, dying so you guys can mock each other. Mock away and see what happens. I am done with my soldiers dying while everyone just mocks each other. Mock, mock, mock. You think that that's a solution? You know, every major religion speaks out against mockery. And I saw mockery. And I saw a mob just energized with mockery, absolutely laughing. This is John Oliver. This is Matt Walsh. This is.
I'm actually confused by what he's saying because he does seem a little bit out of it a little bit. But that's the weird part about this, that Everybody knows the right answer.
Louder with Crowder. This is all the mockery that's existed on both sides of the equation, and it's killing my soldiers, my people, and I'm done. I don't want to see my men die anymore. I'm sick of it. I'm sick. I didn't see Charlie die. So right. This is it. I stood up. My soldiers stand up, I stand up. And I'm not apologizing for standing up. I did what I was trained to do.
There's a moment in the now viral video of Charlie Kirk's assassination that has left millions of Americans stunned, angry, and asking, who is this man? Now I'm going to play the video of that unfortunate incident, but don't worry.
By the way, if you guys know of someone who had a different reaction, I'm trying to see everybody's reaction. You know, this is one way of engendering emotion in some people. Like I said, Charlie Kirk wasn't my favorite person when he was alive, but when, you know, a person dies, it's very hard to like hate on them, especially since they're not going to feel it. I mean, they're gone.
I'm not going to show the graphic part, but I just want you guys to understand what I'm trying to discuss right here. Watch.
Oh my God. I wish I could play it on the real browser. Are they allowed to show this? Look at that guy there. And pause. There he is, if you can see him. So this is the guy we're celebrating. And this is why I said this. I hadn't even seen this before, but I said this before, like, yo, you can't celebrate this stuff. You're going to be looked at in the world as like some kind of crazy person. You running around celebrating anybody's death, you're going to be looked at as a crazy person.
Now, while the rest of the crowd dove for cover, terrified, screaming, worrying that Charlie Kirk might be losing his life, and also praying not to be the next victim, this guy stood up, smiling, happy. In fact, he couldn't contain his joy. He had to pump his fist in the air jubilantly over and over and over again, shouting, USA, USA, like this was some sort of football game.
Bro, I wish this girl's got such a powerful voice. I wish she wasn't on the side that she's on. It would have been so effective for us. Look at how many views she's got.
Now, nobody needs to tell you that this guy was happy Charlie lost his life. In fact, he was cheering and celebrating. Immediately, Charlie Kirk was shot dead. He was captured red-handed on camera, and rightfully, people are calling him out for his hateful display. So,
Okay, so this is where I actually kind of disagree with what she's saying because, firstly, I do believe in forgiveness and I believe in all of that stuff. When he started chanting USA, a whole bunch of people started chanting it with him. I can't play the video because it's on Twitter and I don't go to Twitter. And then, secondly, he did apologize. He said on his other platform that he didn't even see the guy get shot, which, by the way, is true. If you watch the full video, he didn't see the guy get shot. He saw everybody duck down. And he said, I don't know if it's real, he said that in his world or where he comes from, when bad things happen, you have to like remain positive or whatever, which is why that happened. You saw the original video. He said, I'm not happy that my people are dying, and he's putting Charlie Kirk firmly in those people. Now, they did put up a picture where he was writing LGBTQ and all that other stuff, and so in their head, he's like a sworn enemy now. Because he supported something that they don't support, he's like their sworn enemy.
So I decided to look into this guy. I searched for him on Twitter, and yes, I found him. For some reason, he has a verified account on Twitter, but I don't think that his verification is organic because, of course, when I first found his account,
Nobody's verification is organic. Everybody's verification is paid for on Twitter these days.
it had only a couple of followers. But by the time he made this particular post, His followers had shot up to 2,500, and I'm sure that these are people who support his celebration of Charlie's assassination. His follower count was growing by the minute, so by now it will be more than 2,500. You can go check. It looks like this guy did a thorough cleanup on his ex account because even his past posts, I mean the ones that are left, had a good number of views. So I think he has deleted a lot of things he posted in the past because you can see that the oldest post was made in 2024 and all of his posts has huge number of views, okay, which means he has been posting regularly since 2024 up until now. But currently he has about 11 or 10 posts on his X account, and each of these posts have massive views. So it only tells us that he had cleaned up his Twitter account. So I don't know what he was trying to hide. Now,
Well, I mean, what he was basically putting on his thing was support for the LGBT, which again is his opinion, and everybody has an opinion, and then some other quantum physics stuff. But let's be honest, why are these people highlighting this person? Like, what are they hoping is going to happen to him? I mean, he's already showing up on camera saying, um, he doesn't want anybody to die. He regrets what happened. He wishes he never stood up and did that. Now, what do they want? The anybody who sees this, by the way, showing their private stuff. I don't know if that's fine, but what do they want to happen to this guy? What else could they get from him?
now, his Instagram clearly shows who he is, a liberal activist, an LGBTQ plus supporter, and it says Kamala 2028. Now, the post he made yesterday said, I promise to talk, but only after silence and only to two. I've already secured one. The other will come. I wish I could respond to anything coming in, but it is not possible. So forgive me. There is a lot of rage directed at me, but I promise you, you will understand when I speak, and I eagerly await a return to silence. Some are upset because I smile, some because I cheer, and others because they don't have the information yet. For everything Charlie represented, I was there for him, not for his words. I just
Okay, so again, this is actually a very sincere thing that this person is writing. But again, the other side is like, I mean, I'll just say it. They're being bloodthirsty at this point. I'm almost certain. I mean, definitely on Twitter, some of the people want to see this guy get hurt. Some of the people that are here legitimately want to see this guy get hurt.
I just wanted to meet him. Please, please, please. I'm not like everyone else. And it's not just to judge me by an edited clip. You would not wish it upon yourselves. Please. He later released a video explaining his actions, but he wasn't explaining, guys. He was reading to his phone.
Oh my God. Great.
The event opened with music, people throwing hats, and loud exchanges from different parts of the crowd.
Okay, but this part was not the explanation. Why is she acting like this was the explanation? This part is the this part is him reading what happened that day, explaining that he didn't
Some
see.
shouted offensive remarks directed at the LGBT community, while others made disparaging comments about the Prophet of Islam. There were also cheers, boos, and offensive hand gestures, mockery. The atmosphere carried an energy of confrontation more than dialogue. The first debater tried to persuade Charlie to adopt Mormonism, but the exchange drifted into a disjointed
Adopt
back and forth
Mormonism.
of opinions. The audience eventually booed him off the platform. Another speaker raised the idea of restricting gun rights for transgender individuals, citing Donald Trump as an influence. He began to reference statistics and posed a question. Charlie's response turned to the subject of gang violence as a part of the mass shooting statistics. At that point, I did not see what happened directly. My head
I
was
don't know
lowered while I listened.
why
When I heard a sharp
exactly.
crack, at first I thought it might have been fireworks or a disruptive prank, so I looked up to the horizon for smoke. When none appeared, I realized it must have been a firearm. My friend reacted in horror, saying Charlie had been struck. His voice and description told me how serious it was. Based on his reaction, I believe Charlie had been gravely injured. I instinctively checked the security team's movement, though I have no affiliation with them. Realizing the situation was dangerous, I stood and shouted USA, not as a provocation, but to project strength, encourage others, and create a distraction that might help calm panic.
Okay. So from what he said, why are the people not believing him? From what he's saying, why don't believe him? It sounds like a very accurate picture of what happened.
Or even save lives. At that moment, no one knew whether this was a lone shooter or something coordinated. My friend was devastated. He admitted he admired
By the way,
Charlie
there were some
deeply.
people accusing this guy of
I
actually
only knew
doing the
Charlie
crime,
through
which is
minimal
crazy.
content, but would never wish to celebrate harm to anyone. Because of my background as a soldier, I was able to stay calm under stress, focus on protecting and comforting my friend. Afterward, I called my wife to let her know I was safe.
Okay, we get it. Is she gonna come
My
back?
friend was devastated.
For his assassination, but for you now that this guy is a liar and he deserves the
She says
calling
he's
out
a
that he
liar.
is receiving on the internet right now. He posted this photo on his
Well,
page. Now I want you to look at this photo, guys. First, look at the guy wearing the Make America Great cap. Now, this clearly is an individual that supports Charlie Kirk. And I don't mean that you need to support Charlie Kirk to show empathy for his assassination, but you can see that this guy is terribly, terribly scared. Okay? Now, look at his face. I mean, the guy in the red cap. He is clearly distressed. He is ducking for his life.
the guy's also ducking for his life. The guy was standing before, and then he ducked for his life. Like he said, if you can see, he's looking the other way. If it's zoomed in, but you can't see, but they're like dragging Charlie's body off at this moment. And this guy basically was distracted and he's looking down. He's not even aware of what happened. And that's why he can stand up because, I mean, another bullet could have came.
Now, no one needs to tell you that this guy is in distress. Look at others around him. They are all scared. They are all ducking for their lives. Now, look at David. First, look at his face. What do you see? A smile. His fist is going up in the air. He doesn't look like he is ducking. He looks like
He
he
is
is cheering.
ducking.
You can see his fist going up in the air, joyfully.
What are
And
you
mind
talking
you,
about? He's
this was
ducking.
immediately Charlie Kirk was shot. Watch this.
With the help
Oh
of
my
zero
God.
accounting software, I've got the right information at my fingertips.
So business is a breeze.
Shut up.
And I've got bigger plans. Search zero with an X.
Bye bye. Okay, look at that. Notice that the guy just got shot and the guy's still chanting because everybody's bowing down. And then he stands up. The hell's this volume?
Now, who in the world cheers and fist pumps the air when somebody is assassinated in front of them? Only a person who agrees with the assassination of another. Only a person who thinks you deserve to die will react this way. Now, he's claiming that he was just shouting USA, USA as a way to project strength, okay? Just like how people were shouting USA during Trump's failed assassination.
Okay.
But we all know he is lying
Yo.
because the two scenarios
Hi.
are quite different,
Inspiration.
mainly
Hi.
because they had
Sounds-
different
Hello.
endings. Now, in Trump's case, Trump survived the assassination
Hey, what's up? Everybody who's texting, hello.
on the spot. The shooter was not successful, and Donald Trump walked out alive. The USA chant was a way of saying boo-hoo.
Okay, so now she's trying to make it seem like there's two completely different situations. And it is true that in the first one it's a little bit different, but again, USA is usually a chant that you chant. Well, any country's chant is one that you chant when you're trying to give inspiration and stuff, not to mock someone.
To the assassinator, okay? Because his mission failed. He was not successful. So people were saying, boo-hoo, America, USA, USA. Trump survived, okay? They were booing the assassinator, the killer, because yes, even though he tried to assassinate Trump, Trump is still standing. He is alive and he
Yeah.
was not killed. But in the case of Charlie Kirk, He was fatally hit. He fell
The thing that I'm most glad about is that they actually caught the guy. Because if they didn't catch the guy, it would have been real bad.
to the floor immediately, and anybody who witnessed that, any
This
eyewitness who
girl
was
is
there,
mad.
immediately know that it will take a miracle for him to survive. Yet this man's immediate response was to jubilantly pump his fist in the air, grinning from ear to ear, smiling happily. And unfortunately for him, the camera captured his reaction, crisp and clear. And now he's trying to tell us he was just doing it to project strength. Honestly, this man did not look like he was trying to
Okay, so it doesn't look like that to you, but it looks like that to me. So I guess it's
protect or divert attention for Charlie Kirk's protection, like he claims. In fact, his body language says he is somebody who has a problem with Charlie Kirk's belief and was thrilled to see him fall. You have to be a fool to believe his lies. Honestly, you have to be. Now, this is the modern progressive left in a nutshell.
no, it's not. So this is where it gets really scary because they're taking like you know how many leftists were there that day? Even if everything that she's saying about this one person was absolutely accurate, you know how many leftists were there that day? They literally went to his memorial and cried with the other people, which even if you don't agree with crying for someone you perceive as your enemy or whatever, if you see someone die in front of your face, there's no way you're going to just celebrate or anything like that. Like you're going to have some kind of emotion with it.
They talk about tolerance, they talk about love until somebody says something that they do not like or agree with. They talk about democracy, but they cheer when their opponents are silenced with a bullet. They talk about compassion, okay?
Listen, I actually don't know what she's talking about right now. Actually, there's so much stuff going on wrong at the same time that I can't address it all.
And then they smile as somebody bleeds out on a stage. Make
Who's they? Who are these people that were smiling? People were running away the whole time. People were ducking and hiding. The person who literally was asking the question when asked later, maybe I can play him as well. When it was played later, the guy was traumatized by what he saw. A guy just died in front of him talking about gun violence.
videos rejoicing over a man's assassination and even openly declaring that he deserved to be killed. Now, if this man had been a Trump supporter, cheering during the assassination of a Democrat or a leftist or progressive speaker, okay, even though I have noticed that conservatives do not resort to such inhumane.
You mean like Donald Trump, who literally refuses to say that he denounces violence against Democrats?
Tendencies. But let's say it happened. What do you think would happen? Of course, he would be doxxed.
Isn't it weird though that they're using one guy as like an example of the entire left, and then the guy who's literally running the right, like the president, who they support, and they showed up with MAGA hats to one guy. He literally is he literally is the one running everything, and he's okay with stuff like this going on. And even oh my god,
He
I
will be
don't even know what
fired.
to say about
He will
this.
be on every major news channel in America as a symbol of right wing extremism. The FBI would even be knocking on his door. But when it is a conservative voice, people shrug. Some even
What are you talking about? People shrug. The guy's in jail. Oh, you mean the guy talking? That's so stupid. She's saying that if you say something negative about somebody dying, you go to jail. Actually, no. People do that all the time online, especially Twitter, where you found this guy. People sit there and they praise all kinds of death. Oh yeah, by the way, oh my god, I can't believe it. Isn't this the Twitter that they wanted? Remember before when Twitter they were censoring speech and stuff like that? Isn't this the Twitter that they wanted, the free speech Twitter, where you can say whatever you want, you can mock people and not get banned?
justify it. They say, well, Charlie Kirk said things I did not like. Excuse me. Since when did unpopular opinions justify assassination.
Never. Which is why it's not a good idea to assassinate anybody. First of all, I mean, unpopular opinions should be tackled through popular opinions. And also, his opinions weren't that unpopular with the right. So,
This is a moral rot, guys. And worse, this is dangerous to democracy, like I said in my previous video. America works not because people agree on everything, but because they agree on the rules of disagreement, which is that they vote, they protest, they speak, and they
okay, let's examine some of those. The vote part I agree with, but the voting system is broken. Protest is fine, but every time people protest, somehow cops keep showing up. Not this girl again. Yep, this girl again. I'm gonna watch a few other people. Don't worry, cause I here's the thing. I'm trying to show other people's opinions on this. I actually did think about showing the Metatron video, but I don't want to cause too much drama because there's so many people who have opinions.
and they debate or they take it to court. They should not shoot. They shouldn't assassinate. And they shouldn't watch a man get assassinated before their eyes and cheer and rejoice in jubilation. This man, David, deserves any criticism he gets. In fact, he should be condemned by both sides. If the left has any integrity left, they should join in saying, David is wrong. His jubilation.
No, no, a lot of people are wrong, and to be honest, of the people who are wrong, this David guy is the one that's actually right because he literally came out and said, I don't want to see this death. He condemned the death. So I don't know, what do you want? Again, I don't know what you want from him. You just want to like smear him.
Humiliation is despicable. That smile he gave was evil, and that behavior has no place in American democracy. But if they don't, then we know exactly what kind of world they are.
Okay, I want to see the View's opinion on this because they had a pretty interesting one. Charlie Kirk.
Like coins through a hole in your pocket, so are the expensive days of our lives.
Whatever.
Like, I don't even know
I
how
gotta
to
pay
start
for this now on
because
this
this
one.
it's just beyond devastating. Our hearts, of course, go out to the family of Charlie Kirk, who was shot and killed yesterday on a.
By the way, is there anybody that disagrees with the opinion so far on The View where they say their hearts goes out to the family? For me, this is the reasonable response.
College campus in Utah. In the wake of his death, politicians from both sides of the aisle spoke out against the violence and urged Americans to come together. Take a look.
It is unfortunate.
What do you mean, just the kids? What about these parents? What about these uncles? Your lives are different. It feels like Instagram. That's because I didn't do it horizontally. I didn't do it horizontally. I did that on purpose because I'm still testing it. I'm still testing it right now.
Unfortunately emblematic of how our politics is being conducted today. Political violence is not a solution. It is not an answer to disagreement over policy.
This is detestable, what's happened. Political violence has become all too common in American society, and this is not who we are. It violates the core principles of our country.
The assassination of Charlie Kirk risks an uncorking of political chaos and violence that we cannot risk in America. We cannot risk it.
All of us have got to work together and de-escalate the hate and the rhetoric in this country. And remember, we're Americans, and you can disagree in a way that doesn't end in a horrible way today did.
Okay, now, by the way, keep in mind that these are like actual politicians, and this is the response they're having. Keep in mind that's these people. Now imagine what Charlie Kirk is, well, Donald Trump is saying. But at the end of the day, your heart doesn't have to go out to anyone. It's not about hearts going out to anybody. If you don't care, you just like, yeah, you don't really give an opinion. But to go to someone and go to their person and say, yo, imagine if someone died next door to your house and you went to their house and said, I don't care that that guy died. That's not caring. Not caring is you not saying anything. Just cause I don't feel for you doesn't mean I feel good about it.
I mean, isn't a fundamental part of being an American that we are able to express our opinions to each other without fear, without this kind of horror happening? And it seems to be something we have been seeing more and more of. And it's not even left or right, it's just people being taken out because of their beliefs or their thoughts. I mean, Alyssa, you knew Charlie Kirk.
I mean, she's definitely right.
I did. I didn't know him well, but I've known him over the years. And today, my heart just breaks for his young wife, Erica, their two kids. I think we have a picture he posted recently.
I get it though. It's courtesy, like greetings or looking someone in the eye. It's a little more than courtesy. It's like I wouldn't go to a gang member's family and be like, yo, your gang member son is gone. Like I wouldn't, like I don't care how horrible the person you're related to is, like that's got nothing to do with you. Unless you literally made them like that.
Of his family. Listen, regardless of your politics, we have got to get to a place in this country where we see people we disagree with not as our enemies, but as fellow Americans with different viewpoints that we are willing to engage. And for people who aren't familiar with Charlie Kirk, he was and even saying was just feels weird today, but an incredibly influential young activist on the right.
Okay, I thought she was gonna say he was an incredible person. She is incredibly influential. That's one part that people didn't realize. I actually used to not react to some of his videos because I thought it was like way too big to be reacted to at this point. Like he was on another spectrum. Like I don't react to a lot of Donald Trump videos because he's just on another level of fame. Yeah, but that's something only someone that actually wants to cause emotional harm would do. Yeah, but there's people who are doing it. That's the problem. There's people who are literally coming out and being like, yo, he's dead. That's whatever. Like they show the, I don't even want to say it out loud just in case YouTube thinks I'm the one saying it.
He started an organization, Turning Point USA, has over 250,000 members nationwide. They're on over 3,000 college campuses. And this is going to hit young Republicans really hard because he made them feel like when they were the lone conservative voice on campus or they were one of the only Republicans, it was okay to speak up and say their viewpoints. Yeah. And that is a feeling that is going to be felt really deeply. I hope it doesn't have a chilling effect, whether you're left or right, on your ability to speak your mind. I know the one thing we all agree about on this table, we all share our viewpoints, and we should be able to do that without fear.
Well, that's our bread and butter here. So, of course, it's very important. I agree with everything you're saying.
Well, and also, although we don't all align with his views, what I deeply aligned with was he said, when we stop talking, that's when things get bad. The irony of a man who would go across the country to college campuses, that's the pinnacle of thought differences. It's where you're supposed to have conversations, would go, and his series was called Prove Me Wrong. He would talk to people.
Yeah, but he stole that idea from Louder with Crowder. That was the first person who did that. And, well, they all steal from ideas from each other.
Openly who disagreed. It's what we try to exemplify every day and say, this is what we need more of. So the irony of being violently killed while saying those words of what we need more of in this country, I know all of us agree on that part. As
By the way, I think that is something that happened that was wrong, which is if you saw the people who went to universities in this capacity and debated people and stuff like that, it was always people on the right more than the people on the left. The people on the left would debate them comfortably from inside, but the people on the left, they need more to go more into these same type of situations. I mean, now they're probably going to be scared because they're going to be scared to be smoked, but they need to get more into it in this version, in this direction. Let's check out Charlie Kirk name. Charlie Kirk. Let me see. Let's go back. Let's go back to YouTube. I knew this was gonna start slowing down after a while. Why isn't it pressing? Will there be another Charlie Kirk anymore? I think that should be the topic. There's like 10 Charlie Kirks right now. I mean, I'm sorry to say it, but there's a whole bunch of them. Don't you know that the Myron Gaines guy, he does it right now. There's who else is there? But there's a whole bunch of right wingers who are running around saying all kinds of stuff to college kids. I think this is the one I was watching yesterday.
I like to work fast, and switching between all my work apps was slowing me down. With ClickUp, all my work is in one place.
That's good for you, buddy.
You've tried it your way, but you're still in debt. Or maybe you're doing okay, but want to invest smarter, grow faster. MillionaireX.ai gives you real step-by-step strategies to ditch debt or stack wealth. Stop dreaming and start planning. Visit MillionaireX.ai today. I want you to be the next millionaire next door. Finding the right real estate professional.
What the hell was that?
New book, or Us versus Machine, how
By the way,
anti-black
that wasn't an
racism is
ad. That was
programmed,
from this
marketed, and
video.
made to survive. In his open remarks, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. All right. So it said Cox said that Robinson's father recognized his son and distributed photographs. He told Robinson to turn himself in. Robinson initially said no, but later changed his mind. Said the father then called the youth pastor, who is also a U.S. Marshals Task Force officer. And said also advised the father to have Robinson stay in place. And said the information was then conveyed to the FBI. And Cox thanked Robinson's family, who did the right thing. So this is Tyler right here, right? That's Tyler. All right. Once again, not a gang member. I said during the press conference, Cox said that when law enforcement identified Robinson, they also interviewed Robinson's roommate, who showed them a message between Robinson and his roommate. The content of those messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point. It said leaving the rifle in the bush. Now, it said mentions also refers to engraved bullets and had a mention of a scope and a rifle being unique. It said the rifle is an older model, imported Mauser 30-06 caliber bolt action rifle wrapped in a towel. Multiple law enforcement sources had told the news. It said location firearm. Another one.
Okay,
Okay.
he's just reading the
I
news.
heard him talk gangs, all the black gang, the gang members. Okay, cool. So this one person say, you think this absolves what the black inner city community does to each other and others on a daily basis? He said, get real. I said, a black person didn't commit this horrific act of violence. I said, it was a white male that did this to another white person. I said, don't white victims matter? And say, we need to, solve white on white crime. That's what I said. I mean, why don't white victims matter? Why are you always worrying about black people and what they're doing and black victims? Let people like me worry about the black victims. You worry about the people in your community. Now this one was where I said you should be charged for hate speech. I'm like, and this supposed to be a Republican talking to me? It says statistically prove that by far black on
Wait. Let me read that. So he said, "You think this absolves what the black inner city community does to each other and others on the daily basis? Get real." Okay. See, there's the problem. People are like, you're not allowed to bring up politics in the middle of this. Don't talk about gun control. Don't talk about any of this. A black person didn't commit this horrific act of violence, as he responds, commit this horrific act of violence. It was a white male that did this to another white person. Don't white victims matter? We need to solve white on white crime. I think he meant don't white perpetrators matter. But yes, the white victims and white perpetrators matter. And that is funny that the first thing they do is just attack black people. Why did the guy attack this channel? You should be charged for hate. Oh my god. Oh my god. You should be charged for hate speech. Statistics prove that by far black on black. Oh my. So you're going to start with you should be charged with hate speech, and then you're going to start smearing black people, followed by black on everybody else violence. All of this is not true, by the way. Let me just let him read it.
black, followed by black on everybody. Now he say hate speech. What was hateful about this? This is a fact. The man's 22 years old. His name
Let's read it. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson was arrested for killing Charlie Kirk. We need to have more discussions about white on white violence. I mean, that's what they say. I mean, I hate to be the guy who says it, but that's what if they're going to talk about this subject, that's what they say. This is white on white violence.
His name's Tyler Robinson. He was arrested for unaliving Charlie Kirk. That's a fact. It said we
It
need
is a
to
fact.
have more discussions about white on white violence. We don't discuss that enough. Tyler had a white father in a home. That's a fact. I said Tyler doesn't look like a gang member to me. That's a fact. So all this was factual.
What does a gang member look like? But yeah, I will say he doesn't look like it. He looks like a. I mean, I hate to use the word, but he looks like just a kid.
Right? And what I said, I didn't say nothing about nobody's color, nothing. Okay. So he said, foul by black on everybody else violence, and many times and more than any other group. You say, get your head out of your black, or you see that there, and look at reality. Stop making yourself victims of everything. Everybody. This is my post. How am I making myself a victim?
Oh my god. I can't believe it. These guys are outrageous. These guys are outrageous sometimes. This guy, he had to say the most obvious thing. This is my post.
I didn't even mention black people victimhood. But yet, now y'all understand why the threats came to the HBCUs?
By the way, this is why I don't go on Twitter. All of that, I don't need that in my life.
We mentioned in the story, we mentioned in facts, we mentioned in all of that. Tyler wasn't a gang member. Tyler's 22 years old. He was arrested for what he did to Charlie Kirk. We say we need to have more discussion about white on white violence. He have a father in the home, and yet you go to black people. Not that we ain't discussing black people. Then this one, black people. So then I told this person, I say, so you turned into a liberal and no longer support the First Amendment because he's talking about I should be charged for hate speech. I mean, nobody can get charged with that. I say, you dishonored Charlie Kirk because he would have never advocated against free speech. I say, why can't we discuss white on white crime? Don't white victims matter? It's what I said to the person. So they respond, say, what are you on? And you just prove how judgmental and self-righteous you are. How am I judgmental and self-righteous? This is the post. I want y'all to see the psychology of the people that's
We need
Oh
your
my
help
God.
to save the masjid, where over 100 Americans have
Let me
accepted
pay for this
Islam.
goddamn
This
premium.
is Brother Yusha Evans.
This thing's gonna reveal
this is
some
how they
weird
feel. Okay,
information.
this is their psychology. This is the post. This is facts. No judgment there. But black people. I'm talking about he now he wants to clamp down on free speech. You say you just prove okay. You say I thought CK was the best because he was debating and spreading, and not spreading hate. I'm a big supporter of freedom.
First of all, that is wrong. He was spreading hate. Now, was he willing to debate? Absolutely. But he definitely was spreading hate.
Convoy that mainstream media said was all white. It's when in fact all are welcome. Okay, fine. So yeah, I'm just looking. I'm just telling y'all that in itself, this was the post, but yet they went to black people.
That guy who said he literally had to freak out. He said, "This is my post." Why?
So now you see why the HBCUs were threatened. Okay, I want y'all to see this. This is psychology that they go into. Instead of confronting the problems in their community, they immediately go to black people. But if you think about Black
True
Wall Street,
facts.
and the reason why Black Wall Street originally was attacked was because when they got back from World War One, and this has been documented accounts, they looked over there and they saw how black people were living. Now they got problems in their own community. They got financial issues, okay? And they looked over and they say, how is it that we're come back from the war and we're suffering financially, basically, but yet the black people over here are living in mansions? How is that happening?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? They never want to deal with their problems. They always want to come attack us. So when you say that, why are they making threats to the HBCUs? Why are they saying stuff to black people? Why Jasmine Crockett has got a bunch of threats after this, right? Jasmine Crockett had nothing.
And what's her name again? Ilhan Omar. Who are they? There's a whole bunch of black people who, just for being black and in politics, they've got a whole bunch of threats after them. And I don't mean people on YouTube. Also, remember that weird guy who came to AOC and started calling her a big booty Latina? Remember that weird guy?
To do with this. I checked out her Breakfast Club interview, and she said she got a gang of threats after this, and she had nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. Because the only person I knew she kind of cussed out was Elon Musk. But
I'm telling you, there's a guy on YouTube. Let me find it right now. What's his name? There he is. I don't know if I want to play the news version. What's his name? Because the news version is going to get weird censorships. Well, basically, this is the video where he calls AOC a big booty Latina, which is like downgrading and racist as hell to someone who's literally like, when have you ever seen black people do that? Like, they go find a politician, literally going to work, and then starting like shouting weird stuff at them like that. Let me look at it from TYT because I know they've got the video. Oh, can't find it. Whatever. think I know his name now. Alex Stein.
AOC, my favorite big booty Latina. I love you, AOC. You're my favorite. She wants to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. You look very beautiful in that dress. You look very sexy.
This is the reasonable right, by the way, that they're talking about. Go around harassing women, saying things that you probably would get in real trouble for if you're a normal person.
Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina. I love it. My favorite AOC. Nice to meet you, AOC. Look how sexy she looks in that dress.
Ugh. Remember the absolute filth they said about Kamala? Bruh, they always sexualize Democrats, females especially. Believe it or not, they're into that stuff.
Why are they saying stuff to black people? Why Jasmine Crockett has got a bunch of threats?
That one billboard. Remember, these guys, they're not just racist, they're also sexist and stuff like that. Like, some random woman going to work and they, well, not random, but important woman going to work, and this guy decides he's gonna, for clicks, ruin her day by calling her that.
Threats.
Which, by the way, he continued to do that to a whole bunch of other people.
After this, right, Jack?
I'm scared of writing Big Booty Latina because some weird stuff's gonna pop up, and I also don't want my this device to have anything like that.
Jasmine Crockett had nothing to do with this. I checked out her Breakfast Club interview, and she said she got a gang of threats after this, and she had nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. Because the only person I knew she kind of cussed out was Elon Musk. But I never heard her say nothing about Charlie Kirk. So why are you threatening Jasmine Crockett? Why are you pivoting to black people?
Okay, I don't want to play his whole video.
That they do, you do not openly condemn it. You don't. It don't matter who you do it to, who they do it to. And a lot of them like Charlie Kirk. I would think that they would really be just on the same energy. Why are you turning energy to black people when you should be turning it to your own community and say, wait a minute, hold on, what are we doing in this community? Why are we doing all this? It's no discussion. Remember, on the X post, they turn to black people. It don't matter what black people are doing, because black people had nothing to do with that. Remember, this happened in Utah, a white state. Utah, okay? This happened on.
You know what's weird? I'm just playing the guy's video because I agree with him too much. So it's like I want to pause and say something, but he's just absolutely correct. This is one of the guys, by the way, that I've been watching for years. I've seen him also on I think I saw him on Jesse Lee Peterson show. I don't remember, but yeah.
On a university that black is not HBCU. There were 3,000 people at this event. And what happens at these events, they always describe that, you know, people like that that's in the chat over there, they describe when we're not around, that's safety. That's why they move away from us and all of that.
Okay. Carry on.
Things, they're shooting each other too. Just the black people. White people got gangs. Asians got gangs. Everybody got gangs.
Absolutely. There's actually, I mean, a lot of people won't believe this, but I think in America there's more by number, not by numbers of people involved, but by number, there's more white gangs in America than black gangs. But some people are not going to believe that because they don't know that these cities and towns have white gangs. But people don't know that. People don't actually know that. You have to actually like pay attention, not to the news, but to actual statistics and things like that, and you will see it. There's a lot of prominent gangs, black gangs in America, you know, Crips, Bloods, all of this stuff. But in the white communities, ones you've never even heard of. And some of those bigger gangs are more like mafias anyway.
You think about Chicago, that was a white mobster town.
Yep.
It wasn't black people. How you go from white mobster to blacks? Chicago. That's the talking point. If they actually can afford to go to Chicago, because some of them can't, If you actually can afford to go to Chicago,
Oh my God, I just pressed.
Amstel, the official beer partner of Orlando Pirates.
That's good for you,
Not
buddy.
for persons under.
I should have paid the premium.
on the expo,
But no one believes it. Well, they don't want to believe it.
they turn to black people. It don't matter what black people doing, because black people had nothing to do with that. Remember, this happened in Utah, a
Yes.
white state,
Yes.
Utah. Okay, this happened on a university that black is not HBCU. There were 3,000 people at this event. And what happens at these events, they always describe that, people like that that's in the chat over there, they describe when we're not around, that's safety. That's why they move away from us and all of that. That's what they say. We move around. That's why they have what they call a phenomenon, a white flight. Because they say we want to get away from black people, right? Or the blacks, they like to say. We want to get away from the blacks because we're safer. We're afraid of them. Okay, fine. You're afraid. No problem. But then you get around your own and you're still dealing with crime. Because the way people like them think is that, oh, well, if it's a white utopia, there's never going to be any crimes. Okay, well, there's white utopias in Europe. Places like Eastern Europe, like Serbia, there's not hardly no black people in Serbia. And they go holler at the Serbian police. Just go holler at them and see if they deal with any crime.
Yeah, Russia, Serbia, Romania, a whole bunch of places in Europe. Isn't that weird? I feel strange even saying this because it's like we're talking normal stuff. We're like saying white people are humans, so they too are capable of committing crimes. Yeah, weird. Like the way that we have to tell people this stuff. Like, hey, do you know that white people are just the same as everybody else?
Poland is another country that's very homogenous white. Go ask those police, do they deal with crime?
Yep.
Let's take it to the United States. Wyoming, very white. Utah, very white. Very, very, very white. Why don't you go ask the police departments in Utah, do they deal with any kind of crime? Because that's a white enclave. Montana is another one. Maine is another one. Go ask all those police departments, do they have, according to them, they shouldn't even need a prison. They shouldn't even need a jail because it's mostly them. And like I say, and then when you tell them that, well, Chicago. Have you been to Chicago? You always talk about Chicago. Have you been? I've been to Chicago
I've never been to Chicago, to be fair.
twice, actually. Last year? I went twice, and I've definitely got to go back again. I definitely got to get. Well, I am going back to Chicago in 2026. That's for sure. And every time I go to Chicago, I enjoy myself. Great people in Chicago. I hate when they
Well, that's because the gangs are shooting at each other, not necessarily at normal people.
do all that Chicago propaganda. Because Chicago mean black people. They got a bunch of Latinos that got gangs over there in Chicago, but they never talk about the Latino gangs that's shooting each other too.
Yep.
Just the black people. White people got gangs. Asians got gangs. Everybody got gangs.
Wait, what
You
did he
think about
say?
Chicago. That was a white mob.
They always find a way to make it about black people. There was a documentary about that area and how high violent crime is there. And the comments were full of comments like, this is multiculturalism. Yeah, by the way, I want you guys to know something. You know, there's somebody who, by the way, me and this guy is talking. There's some people who are probably going to look at this like we're saying something negative, like we're saying some old hate speech by defending black people and saying it's not gang violence necessarily that is taking out this one individual. And so there's something there that should be looked at.
Mobster town. It wasn't black people. How you go from white mobster to blacks? Chicago. That's a talking point.
It is.
If they actually can afford to go to Chicago, because some of them can't. If you actually can afford to go to Chicago, you would see how nice of a city Chicago is.
Equality is
Talking down on Chicago.
discrimination
I
to
hate that
the.
stupid
Yes,
crap.
it is.
Hey, he would have been. Listen, he would have been safer in Chicago. You're right. I think Charlie Kirk, if he would have went to one university in Chicago, I think, matter of fact, I know he would have been much safer in Chicago. He would have been. He would have been.
I don't know. I don't know about that, but I'll take your word for it.
Matter of fact, if he was actually going to HBCUs. Listen, a person like Charlie Kirk could have went to HBCUs if he wasn't so incendiary. Like, you can have black people don't mind if you have a difference of opinion. You can be.
Okay, first of all, he is very right because they just brought on who's that black guy that's always saying weird stuff about black people? The one who ran away. Can you guys remind me who's that black guy who
You could be a conservative, but there's conservatives that have their opinion and they're not incendiary and just come out as like racist in their talking points. But they disagree on some things. Black people have no problem debating conservatives. That's not a problem. But when you come up here saying, well, I saw a black person and I was wondering if they were qualified, but you didn't say that about a white person? Let's call it what it is. All these plane crashes that was happening when Trump first got in office and all the problems, it wasn't no black pilots. Why did about it? But then I think I think it's the one that had a woman on it. Oh, it was DI, a white woman. Oh, it was DI.
No, not
Let me
Tommy
tell you about that
Sotomayor.
DEI thing. And I keep.
Who's that black guy who keeps going around saying all kinds of stuff about black people, but he's like he normally targets rappers. What's that guy's name? He like laughs at people who died and stuff like that, and they brought him to a HBCU. What the hell's that guy's name?
Keep repeating their affirmative action. They love to talk about affirmative action. If you
Yes, that
was
guy.
to hire me at Houston Methodist Hospital to be a doctor, and you hired
Charleston
me
White,
because I'm black,
yes.
that's the only.
They invited him and they didn't do anything to him. He left talking the same stuff that he's always been talking. When he got to the college, he wanted to say some more simple things because that guy is a character. He's fake. He's not a real person. But when he
Only reason you hired me is because I'm black. And you hired me to be a cardiologist. And that's what got me in the door only. Not my education, nothing else. Just because I'm black, now I'm Dr. Philip Scott in cardiology. So then they say, well, Dr. Philip, we got a patient in here, having heart problems. And then I would go in there and I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with you? Oh, this problem, that problem. I'm like, man, let me look this up. What is this? And you're like, why you on your phone so much? Why you asking ChatGPT about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, why you keep asking people? You don't know? And then eventually people find out I had no knowledge to have that job. And then I would get let go because I have no knowledge. Okay? That's what Charlie Kirk.
which is something they don't understand about the whole basically the thing with like, oh, you just want to go through school without it's like, bruh, the people will fire you if you can't do the job. It's like, oh, I wouldn't get on an airplane with a black guy. Do you think they'd let him fly if he couldn't fly? Like, what's wrong with you people?
Kirk was saying about DEI. That people that basically didn't belong in that position got in that position. But affirmative action, DEI, whatever, was supposed to be, let's give opportunities to black people and others to get in here and let them, listen, if you can't do the job, you can't do the job. You're going to be fired. It's just bottom line.
100%.
So
let me see. Is there someone else?
they're mad that, and Charlie Kirk said this, I even heard it this morning. He said that DI positions was taking a white person's spot.
There it is. DEI was taking a white person's spot. That's what he said.
And he said in college it's a white person and an Asian person's spot. So that's how he felt. Any black person that was like in any higher like management, any kind of job where you make a lot of money, you only got there because of.
Which, by the way, he's trying to say in a way, but he's trying to avoid it. He's trying to say that black people are not qualified to do any job. High quality.
And you took a white person's spot. I mean, this is what he was saying. You took a white person's spot. He said that.
He definitely did.
And you basically don't belong there because it belongs to white people. But this is a guy that you want people to have empathy for, but
okay, yes, I do want people to have empathy for him once he dies.
But Charlie Kirk himself said that he didn't believe in empathy. Empathy is a new age word. so according to Charlie Kirk's own ideology, you can't have empathy because he didn't believe in that. So you'll be disrespecting his memory, right?
No, that's his opinion. I don't go by what he goes by. I go by what I go.
That's what he said. So, and Charlie Kirk liked the debate of ideas, right? So there you go. Now, some more of Charlie Kirk's followers. This is what they're doing now. Remember when I said, "Oh, now y'all trying to become liberals"? Let me show you something else. What I meant by that.
If I disagree, have
also,
empathy for
let me get some
him
other screen
in
here.
life. I don't have to. Damn.
Let's go right here. Okay. So this is out of the Houston Chronicle.
Okay. I think I've watched enough. Let me see. Wait, there's another woman that's been reacting this whole time. Oh, let's see Joe Rogan. Oh, this guy's things are copyrighted though sometimes.
To spin things like that.
Tweets of it. I'll pull it up though.
Fuck.
There. No more ads, as you can see, premium.
And even now they could have taken it down.
It was a tweet or a video?
I'm doing the show while I'm trying to
Got
figure
scared
it out.
because sometimes YouTube, when you get ads, they like show your entire details.
Oh, I understand.
I think they were live on the air and people clipped what they were talking about. It's not a tweet. It's not on their Twitter account or anything.
So it's someone's hot take.
I think so. Live in the moment.
Yeah, that's a crazy take.
No ad block.
Crazy take is...
No. Ad block is stealing your data. But you guys can use it if you want.
What was the take?
Wait a minute. Okay, wait. I'll come back to that. You know that Google just got charged with like 400 and something million for like using your information?
Deserved it?
That's why I didn't want to pair.
Right.
Here you go. Dave Portnoy reposted this.
You found it? All right, here. Put it.
It's only 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Someone shot their gun off in celebration and killed him.
No. Okay, let's see. Charlie Kirk. Brandon. Yeah, not Russell Brand.
Thank you, Stephen A. Smith. I have to say this. I got mad respect for Stephen A. Smith. And this is, I think, why we've seen Stephen A. Smith come along.
It's got some in celebrating way. The most annoying this is we make money off our own data. You can make money off of your own data, but you're gonna have to start a company. This is colonialism. Okay, let me leave this guy. He plays music on his videos. Charlie Kirk. Because there's some weird people out there too.
Yesterday, this was taking place. Okay. TMZ comes out, and everybody around the world finds out when the phone alert Charlie Kirk is dead, right? Your phone is blowing up. No matter where you are, your phone is blowing up with text messages saying Charlie Kirk is dead. This is Harvey, who runs TMZ. It's a place known, I've been inside that place.
Oh, this is what happened on TMZ. Again, I have to defend another thing. I don't even like TMZ. I hate the whole, let's destroy a celebrity culture thing, which by the way, they do act like they're on the high moral ground and then they go around posting weird videos of celebrities. But this one was also a weird one where they claimed that they were celebrating when the TMZ people say they weren't celebrating. Something else was happening on the screen, but then everybody's pretending like that's the only thing that could explain it. But that's what I'm saying. They're frothing at some of these right wingers are frothing at the mouth, trying to get a moment of people celebrating, and they're not getting it from the politicians. They're not getting it from media, a lot of media people. There are some media people, and they can't wait to find Democrats who are going to celebrate it because they want to use this, by the way, which is disrespectful. By again, this is not new to me. Remember the whole kill the Boer thing that happened? They like using death as an excuse to go and be more radical. And the only way to do it is on the other side, you have to say, hey, we're not going to be more radical. We're actually going to just say, look what happened. Because we in South Africa said, the black people said, no, we're not going to be more radical. We're going to be less radical. When they took it to America, brought it to Donald Trump, put it in front of his floor, it fell flat. I mean, right now they don't even care about it anymore because it fell flat. Because the black people on our side, they were denouncing it, like, don't even sing the song. Don't even do this. Don't even that. We conceded so much that we made so many concessions that they literally had to be like, yeah, we don't care about it anymore. That was going to be a story for like a year. If you found out that there was actually a genocide happening in South Africa, that was going to be a story for a whole year.
It's a place that's known for having cameras everywhere. That's what you're known for. You're talking live all the time, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what TMZ is known for. You have cameras everywhere. That's your business model. That's how you blew up.
I was with you in every corner of every room. They capture
That's
every
right.
reaction.
You remember that?
Yep.
There's cameras everywhere.
Yep.
So perfect. If you're telling me there's cameras everywhere, and then this is how they react, employees of TMZ, when the announcement is made that Charlie Kirk has died, and then listen to his explanation afterwards. Go ahead, Rob.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, Smelly. That's what I'm saying. 100%. It will fall flat. Everything always falls flat when it's clear who the good guys are. Now, fortunately, we can't control every single person on Twitter, so they keep look at who they're highlighting as like, oh, look what they're doing. Who pulls TMZ? Even if TMZ was mocking, who pulls TMZ? Let's be honest. Who goes and pulls TMZ as an example of political this and political that? They've run out of people to pull, politician-wise, because the politicians aren't celebrating it.
Go. That's the announcement. Exact second it was announced.
Go to. We're live streaming.
Oh, Rob, I don't want you to show that. I actually want you to show the whole thing. There's another
He doesn't want to show the apology.
clip that I have that I posted in the notes, Rob. I don't know if you see that one or
Is
not.
this the one, Pat?
The one from Instagram. Play that one because I want people to see 10 seconds prior to that to see how it goes. Watch this.
Okay.
Guess is we're going to
But
see
they don't know
an
yet.
image
Nope.
of this guy.
There's just live streaming.
Possibly in the next
Watch
20
this.
minutes. The news
You'll hear
conference
it.
is scheduled for 3 o'clock in Utah time, which is 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern. Janet, go.
Pause. Pause. So I'm going to pause right here. So you can hear there's people already making sounds in the back, and the information hasn't been told yet. You can hear like, ah, in the back.
The announcement is made.
Go.
They realize how
go
embarrassing
to,
it is.
No.
His partner's
have
going to the
somebody
back to
look
tell everybody
at
to be quiet.
the Fox.
Yeah, somebody go back.
Look, Trump just posted that
See, now he says it. Now he says it.
Charlie Kirk is dead.
See? They celebrated before, and now they're reacting to it.
Yeah, you're right, Pat. He went to the back. He went to shut the hell up.
Yeah. So now watch. Now,
What did Trump say?
okay, forget about this, Rob. Now go to
So it's not even anyone on camera. It's like people in the back. But again, this is the problem. You give them enough. What they want to do, well, basically, they're giving you rope and they're like, say all the wild things you want to say. You're like, no, we're going to win. We're going to say all the wild things. You know what this is like? This is like if you have a family dispute or something, and then someone starts, saying with you, like, yo, screw this guy, screw that guy, screw this guy. And then you start joining in and he's recording you, and then he's going to go show the other guy. And then now that guy is not going to be able to hear reason.
so the second. So then what did they do? If they go on ChatGPT, can you tell me exactly at this time that there was another crisis that took place in California for us to say that we were reacting to? They make the argument that they're reacting to, not you, Rob. I'm saying that's what they did. So they make the argument later on. Do you have the video of them saying what they were reacting to?
They said they were reacting to like a siren from a police chase or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, him
I
and the
think you have
producer
it.
guy.
Yeah, and so this is when they're looking at it. Watch this here, folks.
We're live streaming all day during this tragedy.
Right.
When something happened in our office, as we were reporting the assassination of Charlie Kirk, there were some people in the back room away from our news desk here who were watching a car chase.
Look at that. Simple. But again, that guy who's on Twitter, he's lying. These guys are lying. Everybody's just lying, according to the other side.
And they were laughing, they were clapping, and you could hear it out here. And we want to make a couple of things clear. One is that I know these people, and they were not laughing.
Yeah.
They were not reacting that way
They
about
were
Charlie
laughing.
Kirk's assassination.
Yeah.
They were not.
Okay.
They would not work here
All right.
if they did. And that being said,
That's what I was about to say. I was going to say, you know how easy it would be for him to be like, yo, to make a whole, he could get so much points over this by saying they were laughing at Charlie Kirk, were firing all of them and bringing in new staff or something. Like, he could do that. It's pretty clear that's not what was happening, guys. But people are people are kind of crazy sometimes.
we acknowledge that it was horrible timing. And for that,
Really?
we are sorry. We apologize. We apologize.
We got
Get-
caught.
You had to hear that. And I get why if you're watching.
Guy says we apologize for that. We got caught. Here's the thing. What do you want more, though? So let's say the guys were doing that. What do you want more? What do you want more than an apology?
The stream, you may have felt that that's what the laughter was about. We assure you it was
When the
not
laughter
about
was cheering,
that,
dude.
but it was horrible timing.
Okay,
And by the
so
way, I
Do you
get
believe
it too.
them? Do you believe them?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So they're saying a car chase.
Okay.
This is the car chase. Let's just show you,
Yeah.
and you tell me if you believe them. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, let's find it.
Tell me if this is the kind of a car chase that you would celebrate
Yeah.
and scream.
Okay, so basically tell you if you would have the same reaction to a video. People have different reactions to different videos.
Tell me if it's that euphoric. Go ahead, Rob.
We're showing you right there on the banner below. You can see it started in Temple City.
Okay, so they didn't make up that there was a car chase. Was there a car chase at the same time?
And we saw that. Go ahead,
25
Philip.
miles an hour. Well, I wanted to let you know that President Trump has said Charlie Kirk has died. So that is the breaking news that we are likely about to have with ABC News. He was shot in Utah at a college there. We've been talking about that throughout the afternoon here.
Rob? Okay, so he's not lying. They are watching a car chase.
Oh, isn't that convenient?
Are reacting to a car chase because the announcer on the car chase said that Charlie Kirk is dead. Thank you. So Harvey is.
We are likely about to have with ABC News. He was shot in Utah at a college there. We've been talking about that throughout the afternoon here.
Okay, so he's not lying. They are watching a car chase. And they are reacting to a car chase because the announcer on the car chase said that Charlie Kirk is dead. Thank you. So Harvey is essentially in his mind.
So how can they tell that that's the part that they were reacting to?
Well, we're not lying. Go back 20 seconds again, Rob, and watch what happens. Go back a little bit more. Go. Right there. Watch what the announcer said. Here's the car chase that they're talking about. Temple City. Go ahead.
That President Trump has said Charlie Kirk has died. So that's
what they're
breaking news that we are likely
not the car chase.
Have with ABC.
I don't know. That seems like a stretch to me. But I'm not going to defend every single person out here. I actually have no idea.
News.
So
he was shot.
So they're watching the car chase.
So, yeah.
The announcer announces Charlie Kirk's dead, and it seems like in all likelihood that's when they cheer.
You tell me
There's
what
nothing excitable
while
going
that
on there.
second the car
This
chase.
isn't O.J. Simpson and the White Bronco.
Exactly.
Pat, that I'm sorry. That the first of all, disgusting of who they are. What TMZ like somebody, an ex-employee claimed.
Okay, what else? Who else is here? Which is weird because there's actually real people who are actually celebrating. I can't play Sky News because it's probably going to copyright. By the way, you see how they keep playing it over and over again on their shows? Like, yo, if you keep celebrating, that's what they want. That's what they're going to show. They're not showing any of the people saying, yo, we're sorry this happened. It shouldn't have happened. They're not playing any of the. Oh my God, I forgot about Piers Morgan. Oh, damn, there's a new one. Oh, I'll watch the old one first.
And politely, but he would allow them to.
Let's go back.
Just a couple.
And they gin up otherwise good people. From the little bit we know about this shooter, he had a stable household. He was going to college. He was fine. We'll find out where he got radicalized. But please, let's not pretend we don't know where this stuff is coming from. And please, let's not pretend that this thing is going both ways, because it is absolutely not.
It's absolutely. What about Dylan Roof and all these other people?
I also have... Well, you know what, Cenk? I'll ask you a question directly, actually. Do you think Charlie wanted to be martyred? Do you think Charlie wanted to be martyred? Do you think Charlie wanted to be killed? Yes or no?
Of course not. What kind of asinine question is that?
You don't? Because that's pretty interesting. Because here's a video of you, Cenk, talking when Charlie was at a breakfast.
Wait, let's go back.
Fish and
So I want you guys to actually pay attention to this. They want you guys to celebrate. I promise you, as little views as my channel gets, if I said some dumb stuff, there'd be someone playing that video somewhere on a larger platform going, see, this is why you can't trust these people.
Chapter 6, verse 12 says, "For we not wrestle with flesh and blood, Piers. It's principalities, it's evil, it's dark forces in high places." It drives me crazy, Piers, that we've gotten to this point
And when Tim Walz and these people are like, well, I woke up, I wanted to hear bad news. Hearing TMZ lying when their freaking people are back there cheering of a murder of a guy that did what, Piers? He went to college campuses. He was peaceful. He just wanted to have a debate, a conversation. And it is the left. Okay, when Joe Biden got diagnosed with colon cancer, who was celebrating? How many thousands of people were out there praying and hoping for this guy?
Yeah, but how many people mocked him when he was on stage, like walking around being all old and stuff? Like, let's not pretend everyone was like, oh yeah, Joe Biden's pretty awesome.
To recover. Okay, no, there's something that's captured, Pierre. That image, that montage that you played, did you see the eyes of these people?
Yeah.
They are captured by something dark and they don't even know it, Piers. That's where we are. And I want to say something, Piers, before I give it back. Charlie was not murdered. He was martyred. And I want to say this in the Bible. And I'm sorry, I never was this guy, Piers, but we're at the tip.
See, this is the good part. That's why I had to go back, because that guy said, do you think Charlie Kirk wanted to be a martyr? That's what they're calling him, though. They're literally calling him a martyr. So they're making it sound like it's a good thing. And martyr is not a good word, by the way. If you don't know, let's look up what the word martyr means. Okay, martyrdom, a display of pretended or exaggerated suffering to obtain sympathy. A person who is killed because of their religious or other beliefs. Okay, that's the one I was looking for. The second one was not a good one. To kill someone because of their beliefs. So if you ask the question, did the guy want to be a martyr? That's a different question altogether. Was he willing to be martyred? That's the way you should ask that question.
Tipping point. We are here.
Which, by the way, I think anyone now in politics, because of how violent it's getting, it's starting to get to that point, which is not good.
You have to understand that it's God or you're on the opposite side. And Revelation chapter 6, verse 9-10 basically says, when a martyr's blood hits the throne of heaven, it turns the vengeance of the king towards the evil ones on earth. So for all the people that want to get mad and do something, stay calm and be easy, because God at the end of the day, Piers, has vengeance on all these people that are spilling innocent blood.
Are you really saying that the American right, the Trump right, MAGA, has not got a problem with political violence?
Are you comparing us, who, by the way...
Just it's a yes or no question.
No, I'm asking
for how many years? Have 10 years? Hold on. Are you comparing the two? Hold on. I'm not saying that the right doesn't get violence, but show me where they're celebrating the murder of a father on a campus. Give it to me. Who celebrate Luigi Mangione, where he's in magazines and girls want to marry him and want to be with him?
No,
yeah, I also disagreed with that as well, because that's not gonna look good, not for anybody.
You just have the president of the United States' son.
By the way, all of these people know that there's like people who celebrate stuff like that as well. You don't remember there was like people who celebrate serial killers and stuff? Like, you can't pick random people on the internet. Who's that guy again? There was that dude who did some mass shootings and then he had a bunch of fans. That guy who was like, why don't girls like me? Remember that weird dude?
You just have the president of the United States' son tweeting out a picture of a hammer, making fun of a guy who nearly got killed because of a right-wing maniac. Please do not tell me that somehow one side is more morally superior than the other. This is not.
No.
And just what we're talking about. Excuse me, sir. While we're talking about political violence,
doing the assassinations?
What about January the 6th? What about January?
Yep. Now they have to pretend that this didn't happen.
January the 6th. Where a MAGA mob decided to try to use violence to overthrow democracy.
Do me a favor. How many people died on January 6th? How many people Excuse me, since you're such an American historian, how many people
Don't
died
need
on
to be an
January
historian
6th?
to know what happened on
One,
January the
Ashley
6th,
Babbitt,
which was,
a
what,
fellow
4 years
United
ago?
Okay, so see, this is where the diversion happens, where it's like before it was about violence, now it's just about murder only. The people of January 6th violently broke in, and then they threatened people's lives with violence, saying hang, blah, blah, blah. I don't even want to complete their sentence, but they would say stuff like that. But somehow that doesn't count.
United States Air Force, excuse me, let me finish. A United States Air Force veteran got shot subsequently in her freaking neck. Why? Hold on. Why? Because she was unarmed and she was advancing to a hall. Please, please, I'm 100%
So
with
let's
you.
have some
I don't condone
statistics.
any violence, but the comparison is not even close to what the left does.
So
all
let's
right?
have some
Please,
statistics from
please,
your
they
own
promote
government.
it. They
Let's have some
promote it.
statistics from your own
No,
government. These
hold
are
on,
your
you're talking
own
about the
government
president who was
statistics.
shot.
The right, not the left, from the right. We have also
Are
seen
you-
in
are
my
you-
own
hold on.
country.
When you
Well, let's hear that
Let's have some
again.
statistics from
please,
your
they
own
promote
government.
it. They
Let's have some
promote it.
statistics from your own
No,
government. These
hold
are
on,
your
you're talking
own
about the
government
president who was
statistics.
shot.
Now, I know you might not want to listen to the facts, but this is the facts. A study from US government itself says that the majority of political violence in the United States occurs from the right, not the left, from the right. We have also
Which is going to be ignored. By the way, whenever I go look at statistics, this is why I look at statistics. Go look up the statistics of how many white gangs are in America. Go look up how many white people are in America. Go white people are in jail in America. Go look up all of that. The things will shock you. A lot of the information that a lot of these people are repeating is like something that like Thomas Sowell said a long time ago, and then all of a sudden it applies today. He said it like way back in the day, and but somehow it still applies today.
also seen in my own country
when you're
what
looking
happened with the
down,
assassination
excuse
of
me.
a Labour MP, Joe Cox. We saw what happened in Norway with Anders Behring Breivik. All violence on the right. I do not say, as you seem to say, sir, that there one side or other is morally superior to the other. I do not say that there will not be political violence on one side or the other. What seems, and I find curious, is
Well, I will say that there is a side that is more morally superior if you go with the politicians, because most politicians on the left definitely always, almost always say this stuff is bad, while some on the right are like, well, let's take Donald Trump for example, is like, yeah, I'm not gonna denounce.
is your belief, your fervour, that somehow one side of this debate is uniquely morally repugnant and one is superior. The statistics are wrong. That's not right. Doesn't support what you're saying. And the fact after fact after fact, and occasion after occasion after occasion, shows the same thing. And like I say, January the 6th itself was literally the legitimization from your side of political violence at the highest of levels. And what did
I love it. Dave Rubin is getting exasperated. These guys are triggered by reality.
Donald Trump do? When he got back into office, he pardoned them all,
First of
sending
all,
a message that
were you
political
were you
violence
there?
is fine.
Were you? Excuse me. Are you in the United States? Are you an American
I just
citizen?
returned from the United States, as a matter of
because
fact, but I
it's-
don't need to be in the United States to know
Okay,
what
so
happened
wait,
on January the 6th.
Are you an American citizen?
I
Are you an
don't know what
American
that's got to do with
citizen?
the price of fish.
Are you an
but there we
American
go.
citizen?
No.
No, I want to ask you a question because you're looking down, you're reading stats and facts, and I don't know
Oh,
where the
yeah.
hell your sources are from.
So- oh,
but
yeah,
guess what?
God,
As
that
an
sounds
American, from seeing what they did, excuse me, I let you talk. Please let me talk, okay? From what you mean to tell me what the left, your darling left, has done to the Republican Party and Donald Trump alone for 10 years, the calling for violence, the Hitler, like Bach just said, all the negative rhetoric, hold on, to the impeachments, to shooting him in the head. And him saying, I want peaceful protesting, And then the FBI informants, all the confidential human resources inside the freaking car on January 6th. That's a whole different argument, debate that you don't want to get into.
Okay.
But
Yep. Nobody really wants to get into that, but
as an American who lives in America and is a veteran, we see what's happening. I don't care about your ChatGPT stats. The left
Don't care
is
about
the
facts.
party
Okay.
that is
Okay.
inciting the violence and causing the problem.
Okay, I want to bring in another guest.
remember when people said that like the left doesn't care about logic and statistics and science anymore? And then when they bring up stats, it's like, no, it's ChatGPT statistics.
guest now, who will then join the panel for the rest of the show, Konstantin Kissin, author and host of Trigonometry. Konstantin, I've seen from your posts that you've been very personally affected.
Another American. I'm kidding. This guy from England.
By the death of Charlie Kirk. Where does this horrific
Let me see.
murder leave us in?
He's gonna blab on this.
We kind of know that these things can happen, but I think what this has done is it's taken violence into a whole new realm. It's taken violence into the realm of people who just have conversations, for God's sake. And I think this changes everything in a very profound way. Of course, it has the potential to chill the debate, to scare people away from saying the things.
Well, that part is absolutely true. I think there's 100% going to be way more security than there used to be, which is probably a good thing. And then secondly, I think there's going to be, what am I looking for? There's going to be more security, which is a good thing. But then there's also going to be way more people who are not willing to go and talk to people. By the way, if anybody has an opinion so far, I want to hear it. I'm not against people disagreeing with me. So, I mean, that's pretty much the point of these videos that I'm watching.
Things that they believe, the things that they think are important to say.
How many hours is this?
I hope that doesn't happen. I know that my
cut it off at
experience
2
and the experience of
hours.
many other people who do speak in public over the last few days has been a shock and horror and perhaps fear too that has morphed into resolve and an unwillingness to let this become the way that our conversations become silent, which I think is what Charlie would have wanted. But as for the debate we've just heard, look, I'm in a very conciliatory mood, and I think it's important that we're all responsible with our words. But I found it difficult to sit there and listen to this preposterous conversation you've just had. I don't understand what I mean. This time last year, I sat across from one of your guests, Cenk, on that particular occasion, in which he tried to persuade me for 20 minutes that Donald Trump was a fascist.
Let that sink in. The guy called it out before it ever happened.
That's how the left talks about their political opponents. And I'm someone.
Yeah, but then the right calls every leftist a socialist and says that the Nazis were socialists, and then they call them communists, and then they bring up Russia that had all kinds of deaths. So let's not pretend like one side calls the other side something. That is pretty much what the news does anyway. Like it brings up the craziest things of our society. When people say the left are communists, do you think they're just saying the word like strictly in the book, or are they comparing it to other communist countries where terrible things have happened? They say the same thing about both sides.
Someone who's not politically affiliated, I'm just looking at the facts of what I see. We have had.
He is politically affiliated, and no, he's not just looking at the facts. I know a lot of people who do look at the facts. He's not one of them. I've watched his show for a long time. By the way, if you don't know who this guy is, I've reacted to one of his videos. He's the guy that said England is the only country that got rid of slavery. And then he's the guy who said, I forgot it, but he said a whole bunch of stuff about the history of Africa and all these other places, and basically made England seem like it's the best place that's ever existed ever, even though they had a whole bunch of colonies.
For the last 10 years, what has happened to the word Nazi as a result of the woke left's behavior is completely unacceptable. This is a word that we had for a very specific group of people that was supposed to describe people who believe in National Socialism.
Why people pretending, by the way, that the word Nazi is new in terms of usage? Like, I've seen people use this word for so many things frivolously. Remember when people were like, oh, you're a workout Nazi, or you're a food Nazi, or whatever? Like, let's not pretend that this word has only been used for serious things. But in the case of politics, yes, it should be used for serious things.
Socialism and fascism. These words have very specific meanings, and the meanings that they had were very important for being able to describe people who are actually of that opinion. And instead, both in America and here across the...
Well, I don't think he means what he's saying right now, because Nazi just means National Socialist. It doesn't mean kill a bunch of people, but they did do that, so we associated with that. In the same way that communist doesn't mean kill a bunch of people. Communist is, I mean, it has the word in it, community, but people associated with the deaths. So when they call them communists, when they call them Nazis, they're pretty much bringing up the same things.
Across the Atlantic in Britain. We've had, and we're not talking about people on Twitter or people on Blue Sky. I'm talking about David Lammy, who's the current Deputy Prime Minister, talking about a group of conservative Eurosceptics and saying they're worse than Nazis. We've had this for a whole decade now,
What's a
the complete
Eurosceptic?
dehumanization of people for simply having political disagreements. And so when I see that the killer of Charlie Kirk had these so-called anti-fascist inscriptions on his ammunition, I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. Of course this would happen. And people like to pretend that this has no consequence. Well, think about it, Piers. You're a man, I'm a man. If you and I thought that fascism was actually here, as we keep being told, wouldn't it be our duty to stand up and fight?
Okay, that is a very, very interesting point. I don't think there's anyone in the chat who would disagree with that, which is that is one of the reasons why the language should go down a little bit. Because if you heard on the radio that like some fascist or whatever had taken over your country, just like some people in Syria found out one day that the ISIS group was about to take over, you're gonna go get your guns and do stuff, which is why you should make sure when you describe other people, you describe them accurately, because you don't want someone who's ready, a hothead, to do something stupid in the name of what you said.
So can we really be surprised then when some deranged guy picks up a rifle and shoots someone who people on the media, people on TV keep saying is a fascist, keep saying is a Nazi, is completely irresponsible? And I'll just make one other point on this, because, you know, we've had this conversation. Lewis has talked about, well, there's violence on the left and violence on the right. He's right, of course. There are deranged people on both sides in a country with easy access to firearms. There will be that sort of violence like we've seen in our country. It's not just Joe Cox who's been killed in this country. We also had Sir David Ames, an MP, be killed in Britain too. And he was a member of the Conservative Party, killed by an Islamist. And on we go. But there's one thing that I've noticed. A great mentor of mine once told me, he said, Konstantin, the greatest insights come from looking at what is not there. And the one thing I have noticed that hasn't been there in my mind, you tell me if this is different for you, Piers, over the last few days, I've had no expectation that there would be burning, looting, riots in the streets.
Well, I mean, it's a little too early. I don't even know what's happened yet.
Attacks on police officers across America or Britain or the rest of the West. We haven't
just people climbing into a building and trying to overturn the elections, breaking into a building and trying
any
to.
of that.
One of the funniest videos from that was people breaking in, trying to climb a wall when there was like an open gate. That part was ridiculous.
And we haven't expected any
These guys
of
are
that.
living
And that's
cartoons.
because political violence has been normalized on these far extremes of the left. And when you see those people celebrating, what they are expressing is now a widely held opinion, particularly among young people on the woke left, that if they don't agree with somebody, if they're not getting their way politically, they're entitled to use violence to achieve their aims. We took cancel culture away from them when Elon Musk took over X and opened up the conversation and forced other social media platforms to open up the conversation. So
And now you want to arrest people who are saying violent things, right? So here's the problem. Again, here's the contradiction. We want to take away cancel culture so you can say whatever you want. Oh, people are saying hate speech and they're responsible for what's happening. So choose. Do you want people to say whatever they want or not?
So now, instead of using cancel culture, we've got violence culture. And everybody has to pull back. And I'm not calling for any kind of censorship, because censorship will not solve this. But the people who have spent the last decade calling their political opponents fascist, Nazis, and so on, they have blood on their hands. And they need to look in the mirror now and stop.
Yeah, I mean, Dave Rubin, I've been on this theme for a long time on this show.
But to be fair, I agree with him 100%. You should not be. Don't talk in a bloodthirsty way. It's going to come across as weird, and a whole bunch of people are going to get fired. You're going to get fired. Your whole family is going to be targeted. You do not want to come across as that guy.
Show. And I've got a book called, ironically, Woke is Dead, coming out next month. And one of the themes of the book is how radicalized so many on the woke left have become. And I don't for a moment dispute there are people radicalized on the right. But as somebody who used to identify quite happily as a liberal, I found myself completely disassociated.
Or completely on the other side because they make more money when you talk about their topics. I'm not accusing him of doing that, but that's what I suspect. Because I've seen him literally say something that is obviously contradictory to the other side, but, you know.
From the woke left in a way I just never thought possible, where people on supposedly my side would start to become science deniers, biology deniers, but also develop.
Yeah, whereas the right always goes with the science. 100%. They love science, right? Come on.
Mindset that if you didn't go along with everything that they believed, you would be cancelled, you'd be destroyed, you'd be shamed, you'd be vilified, and now, as we've seen with Charlie Kirk, you will actually be murdered in cold blood simply for having opinions that they don't like. It is, as I said at the start of this, it's unnerving. It's quite scary, actually. And when you see those TikTok videos of them so proudly talking about this, joyously celebrating a murder like that, I really do fear about what is going on.
Well, Piers, it's not even that it's about his actual opinions. It's about the opinions that many
Okay. I thought they were going to
leaders
go
on
to
the
Jen
left.
Cougar.
For these guys, and they don't deserve it.
What the hell just happened?
But I do also want to point out, as in they're in the middle of crying now, although Charlie was smiling ear to ear throughout the entire video, thinking, yes, I'm now the victim, and I'll get to claim that my rights have been abridged.
Did you catch the?
Wait, I need to see the whole video.
Was at a breakfast.
For these guys, and they don't deserve it. But I do also want to point out, as in they're in the middle of crying now, although Charlie was smiling ear to ear throughout the entire video, thinking, yes, I'm now the victim, and I'll get to claim that my rights have been abridged.
Did you catch the beginning of that, Cenk? Listen, we'll do it again.
No, I didn't, and that's totally out of. No, we're not going to do it again. Totally out of context. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
No. Listen. Listen, brother.
Are you trying to get harm on me?
Second.
Is that what you're trying to do,
clown.
you loser?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No. I'm trying
to do conciliation.
Exactly
Except
what
this
people
guy,
like you
look at the
have
last
done.
Yes. So again, you can see that Cenk, because he's a guy who's been doing politics for a while, he picks up instantly on what I was talking about, where he's now trying to blame this guy for the death because he wants him to be. I'm not saying he wants anything to be done to him, but he wants him, like, he wants all the negative to go onto the guy, even though the guy literally said, yo, let's stop the violence. It's not going to be good enough. They don't want you to say, stop the violence. They don't want you to be the, let's all be good people stuff.
You're trying to get harm on me? Is that what you're trying to do,
clown.
you loser? Jesus Christ.
No. I'm trying
to do conciliation.
Exactly
Except
what
this
people
guy,
like you
look at the
have
last
done.
two things that the last two guests said.
Piers.
Jesus,
what they said was, yes, we should have reconciliation, but it is not without any contrition, right? It's not without a mea culpa. Charlie was accosted by Antifa at a breakfast in Philadelphia, and the video that I just played is you with a cartoon of him as Charlie Brown saying that he would love to be martyred so he could be the victim. Well, I guarantee you, his wife, who now doesn't have a husband... No.
Is that what he said, really?
And his kids who don't have fathers did not want him to be martyred.
What you just played isn't what
It's exactly what you said, brother. It's exactly
what you said it was.
Let's do it again.
No, it isn't.
We
just heard it. We just heard it.
It's not?
All right.